In the year 1442, the Sultan of Turkey demanded a tribute of 1,000 boys from Transylvania. One of them rose above the rest, so fearsome that entire armies fled at the sound of his name. His name was Vlad, the Impaler, son of the dragon. Years passed. Vlad returned to rule in peace, burying his past beneath the crown in silence. His people called him Prince. His son called him Father. But the world would remember him by another name, Dracula. Peace shattered one morning when two of Vlad's men found a Turkish scout's helmet washed ashore beneath Broken Tooth Mountain. Vlad recognized the insignia, Hamza Bey's men. The signs were clear. Where they scout, they conquer. Vlad ordered his men to double the sentries. If Turkish soldiers had crossed into his lands, war would soon follow. That night he rode for Broken Tooth. Bats burst from the cave mouth, disturbed. Vlad stepped inside. The light of his torch caught the scattered bones of men, crushed skulls. Whatever killed them wasn't human. Further in, shadows danced across the jagged walls. A monstrous figure lunged from the dark, killing one of Vlad's men in a flash. Vlad raised his sword, but the creature knocked it away with terrifying ease. He fled. Back at Castle Dracula, he sought counsel from the monastery. Lucian told him. One man centuries ago had summoned a demon and was cursed to linger in the cave, waiting for another soul to take his place. If freed, he would unleash the darkness upon the world again. Vlad swore to keep the cave's secret buried. The next morning, as the sun rose over Transylvania, Vlad held his son in his arms. For a moment, they were only a family. Easter arrived with music and laughter. It had been 10 years of peace since Vlad became prince. That peace was broken when Hamza Bey arrived, unannounced, with soldiers at his back. At first, it seemed like a ceremonial visit. Vlad presented a tribute in silver, but Hamza had other demands. 1,000 boys were to be taken to replenish the Janissary Corps. Vlad refused, but Hamza pressed. His smile twisted as he reminded Vlad of his own past. Didn't your father hand you over without a fight? Outside, a soldier reached for a child. The father protested. The soldier struck him down. Anger grew behind his eyes, but his voice stayed steady. Later that night, Vlad stood beside his son. What does it mean to be a royal hostage? The boy asked. Vlad paused. It means your father trusts a king more than his own strength. Would you ever give me to the Sultan? Vlad knelt beside him. You have nothing to fear. He rode to Mehmed's camp, hoping to end the demand with reason. Take me, he offered. I am worth 1,000 boys. But Mehmed refused. He wanted the next generation. Vlad's son would be raised under the Sultan's roof. Humiliated, Vlad returned to the field. His wife had already arrived with their child, sensing something was wrong. You promised this would never happen, she cried. His son stepped forward. I'll go, he whispered. Are you proud of me? Vlad nodded, but something in him snapped. He turned to his boy. Run to your mother. Then he drew his sword and killed the soldier down. Turkish soldiers moved to attack, but Vlad moved faster. He was still only a man, but rage gave him strength. Blood soaked the earth. By the end, the field was silent. It is not a child's place to save his country, Vlad whispered. Get my family to the castle. His advisor warned, Mehmed will come with more. You can't protect us alone. I'll find a way, Vlad replied. There is one place left to look, and he turned toward Broken Tooth. Vlad rode alone through the cold mist of dawn, past twisted trees and forgotten stones. Ahead lay the only place more cursed than the battlefield, the mouth of the cave at Broken Tooth. He stepped inside again, torchlight flickering against the bones of the dead. The silence felt heavier this time, as if the mountain itself held its breath. Then from the shadows, the creature returned. You came back, it said, voice like gravel dragged through flame. No one ever comes back. Vlad stood his ground. The Turks will burn my land to ash. I need power to stop them. I need yours. The vampire circled slowly. Do you even know what I am? You were a man once, Vlad replied. Now you're a monster. The creature grinned. And you think you understand what it means to be one? It moved in a blur, grabbing Vlad by the throat, lifting him with inhuman strength. You've killed thousands. When you drove stakes into their flesh, what did you feel? Nothing. You say men don't fear swords, but they fear monsters and run away from them. Sometimes the world doesn't need a hero. They need a monster. Whoa. The vampire paused. Then quietly, he bit into his own wrist. Blood pooled into a stone cup at his feet. "Drink this," he said, "and you'll get what you seek, the strength of 100 men, the speed of falling stars, to see and hear through their senses. But there is a price." Vlad waited. "For 3 days you must resist the thirst for human blood. Succeed, and you return to who you are. Fail, and the curse becomes yours. I will be free. You will be damned." "What happens if I resist?" Vlad asked. "Then you return to your people, a prince again, a man. If not, you become me." The choice hung in the air like the scent of ash. Vlad raised the cup. "Then it will be my pleasure to disappoint you." He drank. Pain struck instantly. His body convulsed. Fire spread through his veins. Memories flickered in flashes. He awoke lying in a shallow stream, hands trembling. The world had changed. He could hear the insects in the trees, the heartbeat of a deer across the valley. A cut on his hand closed in seconds. His sword felt lighter. His vision is clearer. The ground cracked beneath his feet as he ran. That night, Turkish forces surrounded Castle Dracula. Vlad stepped into the firelight, alone, calm. In a blink, he was among them, moving faster than thought, tearing through armor and bone. Blades shattered. Men fell by the dozen. A storm of speed and rage, eyes glowing in the dark. The battlefield fell silent. Inside the castle, Mirena rushed to him. "You came back." "I always will." Their son clung to his legs. Vlad looked at his people. "They wanted our sons. A good prince might have surrendered them. We did not start this war, and they will pay for it." He ordered an evacuation to Kozia Monastery high in the mountains. "We'll be safe there beyond the reach of their cannons. We leave tonight." But as they prepared to leave, the thirst returned. Vlad staggered into his tent, hiding from the warmth of torches and the scent of blood. He clutched his chest, gasping. Visions of his wife's kiss mixed with flashes of fangs and crimson. He pulled away from her. "I need air." Outside, a man waited with a cup of blood. "It's your nature now," he whispered. "Let me serve you." Vlad threw the cup away. "Stay away from me." Blood soaked into the soil at his feet. The whisper returned. "Fulfill your destiny. Set me free." Far away, Mehmed received word. "He killed over 1,000 men. Then I will come with 100,000. In the morning, Vlad trembled on his bed. She saw his wounds had vanished. She pulled back the curtain. Sunlight touched his skin. It burned. She dragged him away. "What did they do to you?" "I chose it," he said. "Why?" "For us. If you give in to the thirst, I'm cursed forever." He gripped her hand. "I swear to resist." But time was slipping. Mehmed's army was moving. The monastery stood tall above the cliffs. Vlad sent his people there first, promising to follow by sundown. Then the ambush came. Turkish archers rained death from the trees. Dumitru fought to the last, but fell. Mirena and Ingaras ran. A soldier cornered them. "Where is your prince now?" Vlad descended in a storm of bats. He crushed the soldier, knelt beside his friend. "It's okay now," he whispered. But Dumitru was already gone. His son ran to him. "Don't leave us." "Never again," Vlad said. The monastery loomed ahead, its stone walls echoing with anxious prayer. Inside, the people gathered in fear. He stood before them, his voice low but firm. "The Turks are coming. Prayer will not save you." He turned to his son and opened a locked armory door. "What's in there?" Ingaras asked. Vlad looked down. "Something I never wanted to use again." Meanwhile, Mehmed's army advanced. Rumors of Vlad's transformation had reached them. His power frightened the men, and whispers of dark magic spread like wildfire. He ordered his soldiers blindfolded, reminding them that they had marched once without seeing. "You followed me then. You will follow me now," he said. "Now march with me. Your sultan will guide you." Back at the monastery, Lucian, the priest who once warned Vlad of the cave, sensed the truth. He saw what Vlad had become. "Sunlight and silver can kill you, but not the cross," he muttered. Inside, Vlad stood with his back turned. Lucian raised his sword. "Let me end this before your people do." Vlad didn't flinch. "You should run." Lucian sliced open the curtain. The prince screamed. His skin seared and cracked. The crowd recoiled in horror. "Kill the monster!" someone shouted. Flames engulfed the room. Mirena tried to hold them back, shouting, He is your prince. Vlad emerged from the fire, charred, smoking, fanged. You call this loyalty? He growled. You think you're alive because you are strong? Number, you live because I sacrificed everything to protect you. Mirena stepped forward. This is not who you are. He looked at her, then at Ingaras. Slowly, the rage in his eyes faded. Return to your posts, he said. There is still more to fear. Alone in the chapel, he prayed, Lord, give me strength. Let me endure one more day. That is all I ask. His son entered quietly, carrying bread. You're sick. This might help. Vlad smiled faintly. You think of others before yourself. You'll make a great leader. He joined Mirena on the monastery balcony. The sky was turning pale. His power would soon fade. If we haven't won by sunrise, I will lose the strength to fight. Then I will fight beside you, she replied. Even if it means my death. He shook his head. Your death would end my fight. Perhaps our destiny was not to rule in this life, remembering their wedding vows. Why think separately of this life and the next, she whispered, when one is born from the last. The time for battle had come. Dracula stepped forward. From the shadows, 1,000 bats rose, bound to his darkness. The sky darkened. The Turkish lines wavered. Panic rippled through the ranks as a storm of wings and shadows tore through their formation. Soldiers screamed. Vlad vanished into mist, moving faster than the eye could follow. The mountain echoed with the cries of men being torn apart. Fire lit the battlefield. Inside the monastery, soldiers broke through. The last guard fell. Mirena grabbed Ingaras and fled. A Turkish blade struck her. She stumbled toward the ledge, clutching her son. They were surrounded. She looked down at the cliff below. One soldier lunged. She was struck. She tumbled, catching the edge of the ledge with one hand. Ingaras was pulled away, screaming. Vlad heard her cry. He flew, cutting through soldiers like paper. But the light was growing. His powers weakened. He saw her, hanging, slipping. He reached for her. Too late. She fell into his arms, broken, barely alive. She opened her eyes. There's still time. Stop them. I can't take your life. My life is lost already, but our son's is not. Do it. Drink. He hesitated. Do it now, she whispered. He closed his eyes. A single tear fell. Then his fangs emerged. He drank. Thunder cracked the sky. The clouds churned. Far below, the ancient vampire stirred. His time had come. Vlad returned to the monastery. Do you want vengeance? Vlad asked. He offered his wrist. Then drink. More followed. One by one, they drank. Vlad walked to the armory. Inside, he found his old armor. The sigil of the dragon gleamed. Mirena's body lay still. He stood beside her. Now I know hell is real, so I believe there must be a heaven. Neither this world nor the next will keep us apart. I vow that our son will live. Mehmed prepared for his final assault. Of all the lands I've taken, he said, this one I hate most. A soldier glanced east. The sun should be rising, but it's not. Darkness rolled across the sky. It's him, someone said. The prince. Vlad appeared at the front of his vampire army. They moved like shadows came alive. They struck. The Turkish lines shattered. Screams echoed. Vlad stormed through the chaos, searching. He reached Mehmed's chamber. Silver coins covered the floor. Ingaras sat tied to a post. Mehmed smiled. I know your weakness. Vlad entered. The silver burned his skin. He staggered. They fought. Blades clashed. Vlad was thrown into the coins. Mehmed mocked him. How long can you last, monster? Vlad gritted his teeth. Long enough to strike your name from history books. Mehmed raised a stake. A heart stake still kills, doesn't it? He struck. Vlad caught his wrist. Mehmed sneered. But Dracula's eyes didn't close. With a final burst of strength, he turned the blade and bit deep into Mehmed's neck. That's no longer my name, he said. I am Dracula, son of the devil. He freed Ingaras. The other vampires closed in. None of the people are left, except your son, a distraction we can now dispense with. Dracula turned. You forget who I am. Lucian arrived holding a cross. The vampires hissed and backed away. Ingaras, he called. Come, I don't want to leave you. You must. Go with him. And remember, I will always love you. Ingaras screamed as they separated. Dracula looked to the sky. He is safe now, Mirena. He tore open the clouds. Sunlight everywhere. The vampires screamed, Light consumed them. Dracula stepped into the light and vanished in flames. Later, Ingaras sat on the throne. No statues stood for Vlad, but his legacy lived on. In a quiet place, Vlad's body rested, cold, motionless. His soul was long gone. And there he stood, the same man who once offered him blood. Now he was still, silent. "Drink, master," a voice said, eyes open. Dracula lived again. On the streets of modern Europe, he walked unnoticed. A woman passed him. She smiled. "Where are you from?" she asked. "A long way from here." He watched her go, then spoke. "Why think separately of this life and the next, when one is born from the last?" She stopped and turned around. "That's my favorite poem." He smiled. "It speaks to the yearning of one soul pleading for another." She offered her name. "Mina." He nodded. "Vlad." From across the street, the vampire watched in silence. A faint smile crossed his lips. The game had just begun.